loves no one.
Okay, and we're back. I hope you enjoyed the music. And now I'm joined by Phill Kemp, who was at the Pure Elite competition this weekend at the Bex Theatre, and I went to watch, and it was pretty amazing. So welcome, Phill. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well, thanks, Nicole. It's good to see you got your voice back.
Yes, I have very slightly got my voice, but well, 70%, so at least you guys can hear me, which is good. And Phil's literally just got here, so his heart's probably pounding.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling? So I'm sure you're still on a high from the weekend.
Yes, actually, quite a lot. It was my first competition.
Oh, it was your first?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Trained really hard. I slacked off a little bit. You know, I think everyone kind of has a lapse every now and again. Mm-hmm. But pulled it all together in that last peak week.
Yeah, and you did really well.
Thank you.
So you came second in the beach body category, didn't you?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Brilliant. And you've got a trophy with you. That's great. Well, I think we're going to take a picture after and post it on Twitter. That'll be good so everyone can see.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us how it all started then. I mean, how long ago did you start it all?
What, fitness in general or getting ready for competition?
Yeah, everything. Or? How did you get into fitness?
Okay, well, it probably started when I was about 17 and joined the army.
Okay.
So it started then, and it was more of a forced fun thing. You know, you kind of having to be quite fit and healthy. So I was in the army for 5 years, and then I left, and unfortunately I had a car accident and I broke my neck.
Oh, it was you they were talking about on stage with the broken neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as people came out, they were talking about their names and what they did for a living. It was really interesting to hear, seeing people and the different stories that they had to share.
Yes, it was a hard time of my life, to be honest with you. I got told I'd never walk again.
Oh my gosh.
I actually broke my C2, which is the second one down from the base of the skull.
Wow.
So lucky to be alive, even luckier to be walking. And then I recovered fully from that in April 2010. And I thought, you know what, the body is amazing. Let's see what it really can do. So by end of April, I was in the gym. And then I was playing rugby, and I was doing all the things that they said I couldn't do. Wow,
that must have felt amazing.
It's a good achievement. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than a lot of things I've achieved. So yeah. And then after that, I kind of just carried on training. I had a job. I flew the world as cabin crew for a little bit.
Oh wow, did you?
Yeah, still maintained my health and fitness. And I thought, you know what? Let's actually train for a reason. Let's have a goal in mind. One of my partners competed in Pure Elite earlier this year.
Yeah, it's just this year they've been on, haven't they?
Yeah, she competed in Margate in April, and everyone was coming up to me. I had a chat with Paris Connolly, who's another athlete at Pure Elite, and she said, why are you not competing? And I just thought, let's do it. So the week after that, I walked into my gym and I approached a good friend of mine, Lee Alberts, and together with him and my coach, Glenn Richardson, we come up with a plan and we just smashed it. We done it.
Brilliant. So how many weeks did you have from then till the show?
I probably started training probably about 5 months before, so that would have been April, May, possibly.
So was that your first experience of weights, or is that when you started training with this goal in mind?
That's when I first started training with a goal in mind. Yeah.
Okay, so what changed then for you in the gym? Did you have to put much more training in?
My self-awareness of diet and nutrition kind of played a massive role. To anyone that wants to lose weight, take a look at your diet first and your water intake and go from there. It plays a big role.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree. I think your results are 70% based on your diet, really. Would you agree?
More than agree. I couldn't agree any less.
Okay, so why Pure Elite? Obviously, you said your girlfriend did that one. There are other shows as well.
Yeah, one of my ex-partners competed at Pure Elite. And straight away it feels, I think thanks to the staff at Pure Elite, you got Stuart, Janine, Natasha, CJ, Lucy, and the rest of the staff. It feels like a community, like a family that you're part of. And I love that. There is no politics involved at all. And a lot of people are perhaps worried about stepping foot in a gym, particularly if you're female, because they're worried about guys who just go there to look at women. When you're in a decent gym, no one looks at you. And it's the same with Pure Elite. No one judges you. You're there. You're
Other
better
than the
than
judges,
most.
of course.
Yeah.
Would you want to look at you and judge you?
Yeah. But, you know, you're there. You've done it. So Pure Elite to me just felt like a family, like a good community.
And I've
to be part of.
noticed there's a big Facebook page as well, which I'm a part of, and everybody does seem really supportive, and they're talking all the way up, leading to the shows and wishing everybody luck. So it seems a bit more like a supportive network rather than a competition.
That's right. Yeah, definitely, Nicole. There's a big following on Facebook. I think it's Pure Elite News, and it's great. I've actually had quite a lot of popularity come out of it because of my Reese's peanut butter cakes.
Oh yes, I saw that. I was going to ask you about that later as well.
But yeah, there is a Facebook group. So even if you're not thinking about competing, join it. Get talking to a few people and get a feel for it. Get involved.
Certainly. And did you have a lot of weight to lose? Because I know you said you were pretty fit before, but to transform your body for beach body, you have to be quite lean.
Yeah, I came in probably weighing at about 82 kilos originally. And again, because of nutrition plays a big part, I didn't want to lose weight drastically because that's actually negative for your body. It's a very bad thing. So over the course of that couple of months, I gradually lowered my nutrition kind of intake, macros for those who don't know, and I dropped it down to just below 75 kilos. So yeah.
Okay, so was that just fat that you lost? Were you monitoring your fat and your lean muscle tissue?
A lot of it was body fat and water weight. I always underestimated how much water you have to drink, as you probably know yourself, Nicole.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And then certainly the depletion just before the show.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Did you do anything strange with your diet, like carb cycling or cutting out carbs or food groups?
Carbs were lowered. They were lowered by about 5 to 10 grams a week. And what was the other?
Yeah, just any other particular things you did with your diet, cutting out food groups?
White carbs, such as like white potatoes.
So all the refined stuff,
Yeah.
basically the high sugar.
Yeah, exactly, high sugar. Yeah.
And did you have to change your training much in terms of cardio or weights?
I hate talking about it, but yeah. Yes, I done cardio.
Does that mean you did fasted cardio?
It was cardio once a day, usually fasted, up until 2 weeks out, and then it changed to twice a day.
Oh my gosh.
40 minutes a session, yeah.
Did you have a rest day as well?
My training program was great. It was a 5-day split, so I only had to train 5 days of the week. So
Only 5.
Yeah,
It's a lot for some people.
I know, but it becomes quite a lifestyle, and you structure your day around training. So what I'd done is I trained Monday to Friday, and then I had the weekend to myself.
That's nice. So what do you do as a day job? How did you fit it all in?
My day job is a security consultant and specialist. I was fortunate enough to have a brilliant client who was in London. After I finished that client, I just decided to give myself a couple of months off work.
Oh right, so you've just been training every day. Bit like my life.
Yeah, it's I've been really lucky, and at times I have kind of turned around and I thought, you know what, I admire and respect the people more than myself who do hold down a day job.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And certainly I had one client who was working with me. She came second in the competition I did.
Well done.
And she works 9 to 5 in London, so obviously that includes the commute into work, and she would get up really early and train in the morning. So I definitely take my hat off to her, because obviously for me, I work in a gym and it's a lot easier just to fit in a session here or there when you need to.
I think I might change my career perspective into being a PT.
Yeah.
It's just easier.
A lot of the people on the show actually were PTs, weren't they?
They were indeed, and I think as a great benefit to them.
Yeah, well, you learn a lot as you go through the process, don't you? And if you're interested in the human body and obviously what you're putting yourself through.
You learn an awful amount of your body, just the way muscle groups work, fast twitch, slow twitch fibres, how to activate them the best way you can, and just different methods of training. It's incredible, it really is.
So also with your diet, do you believe in flexible dieting?
I take the approach that one bad meal doesn't make you fat, but one good meal doesn't make you healthy. I think the key is to be consistent.
Yeah, consistency, definitely. I agree with that. But would you give yourself some variety in the food you eat, or was it pretty much turkey and broccoli, which I was talking about earlier?
Yeah, I did hear, I was stuck in traffic on the way, so I did hear a little bit about food groups. My diet was fantastic, to be honest with you. I had a great selection of meats in there. I had your turkey, your chicken, and cod as well. I had mince. It was great. I loved it.
Nice variety there.
It was really great.
Did you have a coach who told you what to eat and how to train?
I did. Glenn Richardson down in Body Zone in Bracknell. He done all my diet for me, and we worked together. I told him the things that I did and didn't like. And I'm 28, and for 27 years I've never ate a banana because I hated them. Yeah, I absolutely detest them.
You've lived a sheltered life.
But I've managed to eat bananas. Again, forced fun, but yeah. But
they go down well after a fasted cardio, don't they?
Always. But we work together and we come up with a brilliant diet programme, yeah.
And do you have any advice for listeners to help with their diets?
Up your water intake, cut out the sugars, and keep the carbs. Your body needs carbs.
Yeah. And you certainly need carbs to grow your muscles, don't you?
You sure do. You can't build a castle without bricks.
So tell me about the show. What was it like backstage?
It was really fun. I got there quite early on in the morning because I wanted to be prepared. It's really fun. It was my first show, so I wasn't quite sure what to expect, where to go or who to speak to. Luckily, beforehand, I'd met quite a few competitors at a training camp. So we had a bit of a chat. We all went downstairs to put our bags in the dressing room, which were great, weren't they?
Oh, the dressing rooms?
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't go backstage.
Oh, did you not?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just watching this time, so it was quite nice actually seeing it from the other side.
How was it from the other side?
Yeah, it was good. I was right at the back, but the makeup and the lighting and everything, everybody looked great.
It was hot. It was really hot.
Yeah, I was baking.
So we put our stuff downstairs and I started chatting to a few of the other guys. I was one of the ones that made some cakes and I shared them out. Everyone seemed to love them.
So you started eating straight away?
Only the good stuff. Only the good stuff. But yeah, I settled in quite nicely. Then we got our running order of when our categories were on, and it was just a case of prepping and sipping water, because obviously if you have too much water you're going to bloat.
Yeah.
And yeah, just waited for showtime really.
So were you waiting around a long time before you went on stage?
Reality, yes, it was a while, but when you're so busy and you're networking with other people, time flies really quickly.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're running 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
A bit like today.
Were you nervous?
There was a corridor of guys. There's about 25 of us. That's when it really hit me. That's when I thought, God, I've got to stand next to these guys shoulder to shoulder and
start comparing yourselves.
Outdo them. Yeah, that's when it started getting
That's
nervous.
when you realise it's competition, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody was really friendly, were they, backstage?
They were great. More like friends than fellow competitors, to be honest with you. We were talking training techniques, we were talking about vascularity, we were talking about all sorts of
things
stuff.
men talk about, hey?
And women, yeah. But yeah, it was great. And so the nerves went, and I was just queuing up to go on.
So, were you having alcohol backstage? Because I know some people have a bit of alcohol to dry them out before they go on, or maybe a bit of Dutch courage, and having not had any for the whole programme. Did you have any alcohol?
If Glenn, my coach,
are you allowed to say?
If Glenn, my coach, is listening, no, I didn't.
Oh, right.
But there might have been a little bit of vodka and wine shared about, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some people have it just obviously for drying out and things. And certainly at my show, everybody had alcohol and jelly babies and things.
So that's why they have it, is it?
Yeah. I wasn't allowed any of that, actually. I didn't have jelly babies or anything. I had nut butter.
Yes, yeah, because jelly babies has got glycerine in it, which I think is really good for you as well.
Yeah, well, it's just the quick sugar, isn't it, to get into your muscles.
But yeah, exactly like you say, they've got peanut butter, rice cakes.
So tell me about posing. Did you do much practice?
Being ex-military, I've always kind of tried to be quite masculine. So to be forced to show off. It was difficult. I started training for this. I said about 85 kilos. I wasn't happy with my body. It was great, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. So I did feel a little bit nervous about posing. We went through a couple of routines with Glenn, my coach, and it was something new to me. I really had difficulty grasping it. So we'd done a couple of routines and it looked good, but it just didn't flow. So I went to the training camp in London with Audrey and the rest of the Pure Elite team. Came back, come up with a new routine, and it just flowed start to finish, and it looked superb as well. So after that I felt a lot more positive about posing. Yeah.
So they gave you an individual routine?
My coach did, but when we went to the training camp, they took us through a few routines. They individually told us what our strongest poses was and that we should incorporate them in our routine. Yeah.
So they help you to obviously highlight the best parts of your body? Massively,
absolutely massively. You know, whether it's a lat spread or a double bi or a side pose, it's phenomenal help. I was a little bit dubious about going because I just thought it was a money scheme, a way of making extra money, but I come away with a brilliant insight, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone that's thinking about attending or anyone that's thinking about competing. Yes.
How many sessions did you have to have?
I had one with the Pure Elite stuff and then probably 4 with Glenn, my coach, because he's a previous competitor that won his category, so he's pretty
Did you feel confident with your posing by the end?
By the end, yes.
Yeah.
By the end. To begin with, I felt like an elephant, but yeah.
It is something that's quite new to most people, isn't it? Especially with just training. You don't think that, you know, training and diet, but also that you have to do all these poses and be really confident on stage.
That's right, Nicole. It's not your typical Saturday night selfie in the club toilet. Yeah. It's very different, and a lot of it is your breathing. That makes a big difference on your breathing as well.
I guess it's really different for guys then too, because just to tell the listeners, posing obviously sounds quite feminine, and you imagine ladies posing on stage, but obviously the men have different poses and have to flex muscles and things in different ways to show off what they have. Were there any rules to the posing that you had to do for your particular category?
There wasn't as much rules. I found a lot of guys initially thought it was more bodybuilding poses, whereas it's actually more physique poses that you have to do.
So what's the difference?
Bodybuilding poses, you have to have an ability to tense every muscle, including your calves. Luckily, Pure Elite doesn't judge on calves as much. It's nice if you have them, but as you know, it's one of the muscle groups that doesn't grow.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was fun. It was fun, and it was an experience.
So what do they look for in the category that you were in, the beach body?
Okay, so my category is the typical kind of the Joey Essex down the beach look. You know, not too lean, so you come into the fitness category, but just that right amount of body fat as well. So you kind of got a bit of a smoothed look, and they're looking for that commercial model face as well. And
you have to have a six-pack, don't you?
Yeah, upper abs, yes.
Yeah.
If you have lower abs as well, I'd say you're probably more should be competing in the under 75 kilo category fitness.
Okay, yeah. And did they give you feedback on your posing yet?
I've had a little bit of feedback from one of the judges,
and your physique?
NGM model management from Natasha Murray. At the moment, I know that literally we've only just finished competition, so they've got so much admin to sort out. So I'm going to give it a couple of weeks first, and then try and badger them for some feedback, yeah.
Okay, so next for you then, obviously you came second, so that qualifies you for the 7 weeks from now, the Pure Elite World Championships, which I'm also going to be competing at.
That's correct, 7 weeks. Is it 7 weeks already?
Yeah, 7 weeks.
Oh, wow. Well, today's going to be the last day that I slack off. I'm going out in Reading tonight for some sushi, and the next 7 weeks is just to maintain what I've got already. It's going to be difficult, but I've got my little medal hanging up on my car mirror, So that's just going to remind me every day what I'm working towards now.
So will you put yourself in for the same category in the next round?
I will do, yeah.
And were you just in beach body or any other categories?
No, just beach. It's my first competition, and I didn't want to do anything that I didn't think I would be able to achieve or get in over my head. So yeah, I'm going to stick to my category.
Yeah, there were so many people, weren't there?
There was a lot. I think it was nearly 200 people competing altogether. My category was around 25 to 30 others, yeah.
And I never actually seen a show before, and I was amazed how many people there were. And the show that I went to for the first time was my first show that I competed in.
Was it?
So I was actually the first one on stage too. So once I was out there, I was just looking at the judges, and I couldn't even look back at the others. So I never saw anybody posing.
Oh no!
So it's really nice to watch you guys.
But yeah, no, it's great. It's one of the fastest shows in Europe. It's one of the fastest growing shows in Europe.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of the public coming out of interest and just they're intrigued now, and it's great. It's great to see so many people that are turning around and thinking, do you know what? Let's do something for me. Let's see if I can achieve it. And you get all these people in the audience, and a bit like today, they come up and ask you questions. And yeah, just be honest. Just be honest with them and tell them it's not easy. It's hard, but it's worth it.
That's the thing. You have to give a lot of respect to everybody who stands on stage. Everyone's gone through their journey and process to get there, and it is a lot of hard work. So tell me about your cake.
My cake.
I saw that on Facebook, and I want to know what this is all about.
Okay, so probably about 10 days ago I was working in London for Louis Vuitton, and an old army friend of mine has noticed my addiction of Reese's Pieces. He posted a YouTube link on my Facebook of how to make a massive 9-inch peanut butter cake. I'm a 28-year-old bloke. I can cook chicken, I can cook red meats, the lot. I can't even make a pancake. You know, it turns into scrambled eggs. So with all this time off work, I thought, right, let's just give it a go. Let's just see if I can make a cake. The first one, yeah, that went down to the boys in the gym to see if they would die. They're all alive.
So you didn't eat any of it because you were training?
Yes, I didn't eat any. Of course I didn't. So I learned where I went wrong, and I made a second, and the second come out really well. And then it started getting really popular on Facebook, loads of likes. I had people inboxing me saying how much for a cake. And I thought I'm just going to make a second one for the girls, one for the guys. And yeah, so it kind of, they both come out really well, so well that I didn't even get any.
Oh my gosh.
But there will be more at Margate at the World Championships.
I was going to say, because I'm going to be there, so I want to try this cake.
Well, it'll be. I'm planning on making 4, just to ensure that I get some. But no, they seem really popular and obviously full of good, lovely peanut butter.
Yes, and all the goodness that you need after a show and a week's worth of dieting. It's always
Definitely
nice to have something for a treat.
Yeah.
So, are there any contact details if anybody wants to get in contact with you later after the show, ask you any questions? Have you got a Twitter or Facebook page?
I do have Facebook.
Only share, obviously, if you don't mind.
No, it's fine.
Otherwise, they can get in contact through Hayes FM Official.
Oh no, it's okay. I've got no girlfriend to disappoint. But my heart was taken by Jane Fonda when I was very young. But yes, you can contact me on Facebook. It's Phill with 2 L's, Kemp, like Ross Kemp, but not. So yeah. So contact me on Facebook. Ask me any questions you have, and if I don't know the answer, I know someone that will. That's for sure.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, and I look forward to being on stage with you in 7 weeks.
Let's smash it.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to a track now and we'll be right back.